Yo, so here's a fun thing that I tried on stream. This is a clip where I explained and talked about how to play greedy, how to play safe, what the differences are, how metas work and how metas shift. Yeah, I tried to explain it in paint, so I'm gonna probably do more of this where I take hard concepts or things that are interesting to know about Hearthstone Battlegrounds but hard to explain and try to visualize them easily in paint. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought of this, if I should do more of these on the channel. I have more ideas, like I plan on doing one of these for token triples, so how you get triples with Gendis, with the hero power, and if you should sell the Tabby Cat or the Alley Cat and how everything works. Feedback is always appreciated. I hope you enjoyed this clip and hope you learned something from this, because I think it is very good information if you want to get better at the game. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to catch more guides like these, or if you want to be able to catch my streams. I try to stream most evenings if possible. And of course, if you have 1 second, it's always highly appreciated if you can like the video, as it is literally free and it helps me out immensely. Thank you. What is spiking, you might ask? Right? What is playing greedy? What is playing for tempo? What is the differences? So let me show you. We have a curve. I'm gonna try and explain this simpler. We have this curve. This is the amount of total stats you have in the board, or tempo you have. Stats. And then we also have this line, which is time. So turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, right? First curve I'm gonna draw is a normal game. So normally people just like level, get strong, then they get weak, and you get kind of this line going, right? Where people gradually get stronger, stronger and stronger over time. Now, this is what greed is. Greed is, you start off kind of with the same, but then you do power level plays. Like you sell your board, or you level more aggressively, or you greed for triples and freeze them in the shop, and you basically get weaker, right? Your tempo and your stats are lower than the average player, but then you hit your triple and then you need to spike. The spike is literally a spike where your curve is going to go up like this, but your curve is exponential and easily, like if you go to the late game, easily beats this line, right? So here's how you have a successful spike and a bad spike. So in a successful spike, you take damage here from the average people in your lobby, right? So you take damage here, which is this area underneath the two curves. And then there's going to be a point where you're equally strong. But because you played greedy, and because you got the early big scaling before the other person, and you're on higher 7 tiers, you're going to outscale them quickly at a pace that they can't catch up with, and they quickly are going to take massive amounts of damage, and late game it's just not even close. You win. But the only way this is punished, of course, is if you die here. If you die right below this point, because you take too much damage from the red line, you're dead. So if you spike is not aggressively enough, or you take too long, you're dead. So you gotta balance it out properly. And the red line also has to find a spike, otherwise you take too much damage and die. Now, the third one that I want to talk about is super tempo stuff, because that's also apparently a meta thing right now, and it is worth knowing if you want to counter certain people or lobbies. It again starts the same. Most people start the same. Then let's say you hit an early triple, or you stay down, or you use your tempo power, your hero power more for tempo. Tempo power? Yes. You get strong, like big stats early on, but then you dip and you're not gonna have as easy of a time anymore, and late game you're just not gonna scale much at all. So again, you deal a lot of damage early to the red line, the average people, the average players, and if you face a greedy player, you deal even more damage, right? You just absolutely obliterate damage. You can see the distance is larger. Yes, that's how math works. Shut up. So if you're a greedy player, you want to avoid this blue line as much as possible, because the blue line, the main reason why people play for tempo, is to counter the yellow line and just kill them before they get strong. So if a lobby does not have any blue lines, if there's no tempo people, the yellow, that's how metas basically work. The yellow line is going to be more prevalent. At the end, I'll use this to explain metas, but again, there's a point where, like about here, where they all intersect, and the red line is just because they've played normally and had more scaling, is going to start beating the tempo line until they're dead. And the yellow line especially is just going to nuke them in like 1 or 2 turns, because it's just insane, right? So what does this mean for a meta? I've talked about like tempo meta. Sometimes it's more aggressive, sometimes everyone plays greedy. It also depends on the heroes that are good at that certain time. in Battlegrounds. So let's say there's no good tempo heroes, right? Like Yogg sucks, Kalta sucks, or there's good things on tier 6. That means people are going to play more the yellow line. There's going to be less blue lines, which means that if we remove the blue line, again, there's not much pressure on yellow. And yellow is just always going to win late game, right? All lobbies are going to be won by yellow line because there is no blue line to kill them before they get the spike. Some lobbies, again, most lobbies are won by the yellow line because they have the best late game. But if they don't make it that far, the red line is going to take the lobby. So these two are winning lobbies. Blue never wins lobbies. Blue is a line that only gets top 4 most of the time. But we need blue lines in order to balance out the meta. If people don't play for tempo, if there's no good tempo stuff, things like that, we're going to see way more yellow lines and less red lines winning lobbies in the end. I hope this kind of explains how...
Professor, will this be on the exam?
Yep, take notes, take notes. Very important stuff. Is there anything else that I need to explain about this? I felt like I had to, but I forgot. Is there any questions about tempo and greed and stuff like that? Yeah, again, do you specifically try to play a tempo pace when you have a hero power that compensates late game? So tempo or Reno are good examples. Tempo, Reno, Ragnaros or Reno are good examples because you just play for tempo. But again, you have dude, what is up with my speech today? Holy shit. But you indeed have a hero power that can pop off. So if you play for tempo as Reno, right? Let's say you're the blue line. The thing is, you will never be as good as other people with the blue line because you don't have a hero power that gives you tempo. Usually people with the blue line are people that have a really strong hero power early on to give you the tempo that you need, right? So you're going to be in between the red and the blue line. So you're going to be strong. The thing is, if you don't hit anything good of hero power, you will spike, but not as strong as the yellow line, and you'll still die anyway. So if you hero power Caligos, boom. You win. It's very simple. You can literally just win on the spot. I've had a lobby where I had a golden Caligos and it just went like no, everyone just died every single turn when I faced them. But you also have tempo hero powers with Reno, for example, where I just am the red line, but I hit a early Iron Sensei, and then it's boom, I spike, but then it's a major drop off. So basically, my goal is then to kill people before they outscale me. So the yellow lines are just absolutely obliterate, but I need to face them. If I don't face them and they get time to scale, they will beat me late game. But that's why tempo heroes are so good, I think, because you get the major spike early and try to capitalize of it, and maybe you find additional scaling, you can actually grow your curve a bit, but you're never gonna catch up with the people who are actually super greedy. And then with Ragnaros, same thing. You play for tempo and then your hero power also gives you more tempo. I think it's kind of hard to draw a curve for him. Because again, it depends on what you find, right? Every game is still different. So every game, no matter what hero you are, the curve can look whatever you want to, because you can choose your own gameplay. But it is kind of influenced by if it's a tempo or a greedy hero power.
I think it'd be nice for a lot of people if you took this same adaptation and did your best attempt to put heroes/high tier champs on top of this graph.
Ooh, that's a good suggestion, Mod. It's like a tier list, but with more info. But yeah, Andrea, to answer your question, again, it depends, yeah, on what you find, right? If you're very weak, very low on HP, then you gotta get the spike early, right? Like, let's say you're right here, but you're facing a lot of blue people. Can you still... I'm gonna take another color. I don't know if you can still see what's going on. I'm gonna take green. Let's say you're here, but you've been facing a lot of blue people that have been spanking you, even though you're playing the game normal, then you need that spike to kind of get above them, even though you're gonna have less late game, right? So your curve is gonna look like that from then on. So you don't die and at least get a top 4. That's why you go for tempo, play safe, stuff like that. While if you're playing the red line, but you're facing a lot of greedy people, and instead you beat people, that means you can just stay greedy, because you still have all your HP, and you can go for this curve instead to win the late game. And just level more aggressively. So it depends again on what you face early game, what heroes you like, because there's a lot of battle RNG as well, what shops you get. So it's very hard to just say you should do this or that in this situation when every game in reality is so different. Thanks again a lot for watching. Again, leave down below what you thought of this video. I might do many more of them if this is well received. Take care, good luck on the Battlegrounds, and have fun.